Once upon a time, in the Igbo village of Umokoro, there lived twin sisters named Ada and Chidinma. They were born to Ens and Lolo is, a hardworking and respected couple in the village. Ada, the elder by a few minutes, was cheerful and kind, while Chidinma was reserved but undeniably beautiful. Although twins, the sisters were very different. Ada was always willing to help her parents and neighbors. She had a warm smile that lit up the room and was loved by all. Chidinma, however, was quiet and easily angered, especially when she felt overshadowed by Ada. The villagers often praised Ada for her generosity and hard work. They would say, "Ada is a gift from the gods," or "Ada will make her family proud." Chidinma's heart burned with jealousy whenever she heard this. Why does everyone love Ada more than me? Chidinma often thought. Am I not good enough? Am I not beautiful enough? This bitterness grew in her heart as the years passed. One day, the village announced a grand yam festival. It was the most anticipated event in Umokoro, where every family showcased their finest yams and celebrated the gods' blessings. Ada and Chidinma's father, Ens Is, had the largest yam farm in the village. Ada worked tirelessly, washing and arranging the yams to perfection for the festival. Chidinma, on the other hand, sat under a tree, pouting. During the festival, Egui Okeke, the village head, noticed the beautifully arranged yams and called Ada forward. "You have done well, Ada," he said. "You will present these yams to the gods." The crowd cheered for Ada, but Chidinma clenched her fist. Why is it always Ada? She thought angrily. That night, while the family celebrated Ada's recognition, Chidinma sulked in the shadows. Unable to bear the jealousy, Chidinma decided to take matters into her own hands. She left the house late at night and headed to the forest, determined to find a way to make the villagers love her more than Ada. Deep in the forest, Chidinma arrived at the shrine of Ekwensu, the trickster spirit. The shrine was dark and eerie, with strange carvings on the walls. She knelt before the altar and whispered, "Ekwensu, hear my plea." The air grew cold, and a black cat with glowing red eyes appeared. It spoke in a deep, rumbling voice, "Why have you called me, child?" "I want to be greater than my sister," Chidinma said boldly. "Make the villagers love me more than Ada." Ekwensu laughed. "Your wish is a dangerous one," he said. "If you truly desire this, you must steal the sacred yam from the shrine of Oni, the earth goddess, and bring it to me." Chidinma hesitated for a moment, but her jealousy overpowered her fear. "I will do it," she said. The next night, Chidinma snuck into Oni's shrine. It was surrounded by glowing fireflies, and the air was thick with the scent of sacred herbs. In the center of the shrine lay the sacred yam, glowing faintly. As Chidinma reached for the yam, a loud voice boomed, "Who dares to steal from Oni?" The ground shook, and a whirlwind surrounded her. Ignoring the warning, Chidinma grabbed the yam and fled. The spirits of the ancestors appeared and chased her through the forest, their voices echoing like thunder, "Return the yam, or face the wrath of Oni." The spirits roared. Chidinma ran until she reached Ekwensu's shrine. Panting, she handed him the yam. Ekwensu grinned and said, "You have done well. Now, your wish shall be granted." He cast a spell on Chidinma, making her more beautiful and charming than ever. "Now, the villagers will adore you," he said. The next morning, Chidinma woke up feeling different. When she looked in the mirror, her beauty was radiant. When she walked through the village, everyone turned to admire her. Even Egui Okeke called her forward and praised her. For the first time, Chidinma felt superior to Ada, but something strange began to happen. The family's crops withered, the chickens stopped laying eggs, and the goats became weak. Ada noticed the changes and suspected that something was wrong. She decided to keep an eye on Chidinma. One night, Ada saw Chidinma sneaking out of the house. Curious, she followed her into the forest. Ada hid behind a tree and watched as Chidinma met with Ekwensu. She overheard their conversation and learned about the stolen yam. Ada's heart ached. She loved her sister but knew that Chidinma's actions had brought a curse upon their family and the village. The next day, Ada sought advice from Mama Yugo, the village elder. Mama Yugo was wise and knew the ways of the spirits. You must go to Oni's shrine and ask for forgiveness, Mama Yugo said. But beware, the journey will be perilous. Ada prepared for her journey, taking only a calabash of water and some food. She entered the forest, where the trees whispered secrets and the animals watched silently. Along the way, Ada encountered a snake trapped under a fallen branch. Despite her urgency, she stopped to free it. The snake hissed gratefully and said, "You are kind. I will repay your kindness when you need it." As Ada continued, she faced many challenges. She had to cross a river filled with crocodiles, climb steep hills, and navigate through a dense maze. When Ada finally reached Oni's shrine, the spirits of the ancestors appeared. "Why have you come, child?" they asked. "I have come to return the sacred yam and seek forgiveness for my sister," Ada said. Kneeling before them, the spirits were moved by Ada's sincerity but said, "You must prove your courage and purity of heart by facing Oni's 3 trials. In the first trial, Ada had to retrieve a golden feather from a nest guarded by hawks. Remembering the snake's promise, she called out for help. The snake appeared and slithered up the tree, scaring the hawks away. Ada retrieved the feather and thanked the snake. In the second trial, Ada had to walk through a field of fire. She prayed for guidance, and a gentle rain began to fall, cooling the flames. In the final trial, Ada had to face her deepest fear, losing her sister. She saw a vision of Chidinma crying and calling for help. Overwhelmed with emotion, Ada declared, "I will do anything to save my sister." Impressed by her love and bravery, Oni appeared as a radiant woman. "You have proven yourself worthy," she said. Oni forgave Chidinma but warned that she must learn from her mistakes. She gave Ada a potion to break Ekwensu's spell and restore balance to the village. Grateful, Ada returned home with the potion. When she arrived, she found Chidinma basking in her false glory. Without a word, Ada poured the potion into the family's water pot. That evening, when Chidinma drank from the family's water pot, she felt a strange shiver pass through her body. Her beauty, which had once shone so brightly, began to fade. Her skin lost its radiant glow, and the villagers, who had once admired her at every turn, now turned their gaze away, as if they saw her for the first time. The spell of Ekwensu was broken, and for the first time in years, Chidinma felt utterly ordinary. Chidinma's heart sank as she stared into the reflection of the water pot, her once flawless image now returning to the way it had been before. She felt her chest tighten, her pride shattered. The world around her seemed to mock her, and a wave of anger surged within her. "How dare you take it from me?" she shouted, her voice trembling with fury. She stormed out of the house, fist clenched, eyes wild with emotion. "This was my chance to be the best. Why did you have to ruin everything?" Ada watched quietly from the doorway, her heart aching for her sister. She knew the pain that Chidinma was feeling, but she also knew that this was a necessary moment. Chidinma had to confront the truth of her actions. Chidinma did not listen to Ada's plea for calm. She was consumed with jealousy and bitterness, convinced that Ada had somehow orchestrated this to take away everything from her. "You've always been the perfect one, Ada. Always the one they love. Always the one they praise." Chidinma screamed, her anger cutting through the quiet night. Ada stood still, her gaze gentle but firm. "Chidinma, this isn't about who they love more. It's about what's in our hearts. It's about what we choose to do with the gifts we've been given." But Chidinma couldn't hear her. "No. You don't understand. You'll always be the one who shines. I was the one who was supposed to be admired. I wanted to be the one everyone loved, not you." Her voice cracked with frustration. "I tried to be better than you, to prove that I'm enough, and yet, you always seemed to take everything away from me. All of this, all of it, was supposed to be mine." As Chidinma raged on, the villagers, who had gathered near the house to witness the sisters' ordeal, began to murmur. They had been watching quietly, some sympathetic to Chidinma, others disappointed by her actions. She was once so full of light, one woman whispered. But now she is consumed by envy. Ada, noticing the murmurs, turned to the villagers. Please, don't judge my sister too harshly, she said, her voice steady. She is still my sister. We all make mistakes, but we can grow from them. Let us not forget the kindness she once showed. Chidinma, now standing at the center of the crowd, felt the weight of their gazes. For the first time, she felt the full extent of her own betrayal. The anger in her heart was replaced by something deeper, regret. She had sacrificed her own sister's love and trust in pursuit of something fleeting. I didn't know what I was doing, she whispered, more to herself than to anyone else. I thought if I was the one they admired, it would be enough to make me happy. But now I realize, happiness doesn't come from taking someone else's light. Ada stepped forward, her eyes soft but filled with strength. Chidinma, she began, her voice calm but firm, true beauty comes from within. It comes from how we treat others, how we show love and kindness. I never needed the praise of the village, for I already had the love of my family. I only wanted to see you happy, to see us both grow together. Chidinma's tears flowed freely now, and she fell to her knees in front of Ada. I am sorry, Ada. I let jealousy cloud my heart. I wanted to be better than you, but I realize now that I've lost everything, including you. Ada knelt beside her, gently wiping her sister's tears. You never needed to be better than me, Chidinma. You just needed to be yourself. And I love you, no matter what. The villagers, witnessing the reconciliation between the twins, began to see the true strength of Ada and Chidinma. They understood that what mattered most wasn't beauty or praise, but the love between the sisters and their ability to forgive one another. Ada helped Chidinma rise to her feet, and they embraced. We have a long road ahead of us, but together, we can heal and grow, Ada said, her voice filled with warmth. Chidinma nodded, her heart filled with gratitude. I will change. I will make amends and work to regain your trust. I will never again let jealousy consume me. From that day forward, Chidinma worked tirelessly alongside Ada, helping to restore their farm and the village. The once proud and vain young woman became known for her humility and hard work. The villagers began to admire her for the strength she showed in changing her ways, and she slowly regained their trust. As the years passed, Ada and Chidinma's bond grew stronger, and the villagers remembered their story as one of love, forgiveness, and the dangers of jealousy. They learned that true beauty and greatness come from within, and that the pursuit of envy and pride only leads to destruction. The village of Umokoro prospered once more, and the twins, now united by a deep and unbreakable love, lived their lives serving their community with humility and grace. Moral lesson: the story of Ada and Chidinma teaches us that jealousy and pride can destroy relationships and lead us down a path of loneliness and regret. True beauty and success come not from competing with others but from embracing our own unique qualities and treating others with kindness and respect. Forgiveness and humility are the keys to healing broken bonds, and only through love and understanding can we build lasting happiness.